I'm Kit, and this is Caleb.
And we're the Trophy Bros.
Welcome to our podcast.
Listen as we share our crazy,
Off the wall,
and oftentimes ridiculous thoughts.
Enjoy the episode.
Well, welcome back to Trophy Bros. I'm Caleb. This is Kit, and we are back with Futbol Americana. It's that time of year, and we're excited to be back into the mix of it all.
Absolutely. Football season is always
Yeah, man.
it's always a great time of year. It's kind of like the start of fall
It is,
for me. So I love it. I love this time of year, especially with college football kicking off. That's probably my fave. But yeah, man, it's super exciting.
And so with the football season, what is your favorite? Well, let me just ask you this. Did you play football growing up?
Oh, absolutely.
Like in the backyard?
Yeah.
In the street?
Yeah, smear the queer, all that.
Dude, is that politically correct?
Well, I don't know if it is, but that's what we called it back then.
So did you have an older brother or younger brother?
No, I have a younger brother.
Younger brother?
Younger brother.
So did you play like the street ball, like with all his buddies and your buddies?
yeah,
like was it
absolutely.
your friends versus his friends?
No, we intermingled. So over there where my mom lives, we had a good neighborhood group of kids that we were all friends and stuff. And I mean, we would play until the street lights came on. I mean, and it just so happened that there was like two telephone poles that lined up just perfect for end zones. And
Oh yeah.
and we normally it was like 4-on-4 with with an all-time QB, and you know, it was probably kind of weird, but there was this guy that still lived at home with his parents that was a little older than all of us, and he would come up and be like the all-time QB and just. But yeah, man, it was just we had a ton of fun playing.
Was it like that Uncle Rico? Or-
Yeah, kind of
I
like
can throw this football over those mountains.
yeah, kind of like reliving his glory days. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, and so I mean, but yeah. There, like I said, there was about 8 of us that did that almost every Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Until we started playing basketball, and then that took over.
Yeah. Well, I lived out in the country, so we didn't have neighbors really close to us, but we always had like those guys that lived probably about like a quarter of a mile, half mile down the road, and so it was only like maybe 4 of us at a time, and so we would always do the like little one-on-one. We had an all-time quarterback.
Yeah.
Type thing, and so yeah, we always played it that way.
Route versus route.
Yeah, route versus route, and then it was usually you only went with whoever was there, so it was usually somebody who was always either 2 or 3 years older than you. It was so uneven.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I grew up playing like Pop Warner football, Little League football.
Yeah,
it was before flag football was.
Yeah, I played Little League or Optimus Club football.
Yeah,
is what was here, and so. Yeah, there was no flag football or touch football. It was just straight.
Smash.
Once you got, but it didn't start until you were in 4th grade.
Yeah,
and so once you got to 4th grade is when it really, or 3rd and 4th grade is when it started.
Yeah,
because I remember playing 2 years on the Vikings, then 2 years on the Raiders. I was the Vikings and the Raiders.
Yeah,
and so we played 2 and 2. Then of course junior high started.
Yeah,
and so, but yeah, I mean.
I remember going over to Chris Wilson, my friend growing up's house, and he lived in town. And I remember playing like in the street, like dude. And it was like you didn't play in the grass in the yard. That made too much sense.
No,
like if you got tackled or like tripped up.
Yeah,
but you played like in the blacktop street.
Oh
like gravel, like embedded into your knees and elbows, like road rash.
Oh yeah,
dude, it was like straight up carnage going on. And you went home in tears, like it stung even more, and that's when your mom like sprayed like all that Bactine stuff,
man,
and it stung. Oh my gosh, and it hurt.
What about like Thanksgiving holidays, like when y'all had your cousins and everybody over? Did y'all?
See, I always grew up so far away from my cousins, and so I didn't have that. But I remember the first time,
even on, like the holidays, like when y'all got together.
Yeah, we like very rarely did we go. Like it would be Christmas was like the only time that we went and saw like all of our extended family.
Not Thanksgiving.
Not typically. Maybe every now and then. Wasn't every year that we would do it. But is when I got married, like or not even married. When I started dating my wife, I would go and do Thanksgiving with Mindy and her family. And that was really weird because she had two older cousins that played football, collegiate wise, and played Air Force Academy that one of them wound up playing for the Dallas Cowboys. And they took their football serious.
Very serious.
Yeah, they won state championships. They broke all kinds of records for the Navy Academy. I remember like they were drilling it at you, like put a dent in the side of the Ford Explorer. They took it all hardcore. They were just excited to have somebody like another guy to play football with, and so they were like hardcore, like tackle you, and they were just they had fun, and that was fun to play with. But yeah, I remember growing up though, and I was like you playing Pop Warner football. Like we were the Tigers one year. I want to say
Tigers.
we weren't like the NFL like copyright stuff, but we were the Tigers one year. God, we were a purple team one year. I can't remember what we were. We weren't like our school colors were purple and gold, but we weren't Bobcats like our high school team. I can't remember what we were. But anyway, I did that and then played through junior high and high school and stuff like that. But I remember there were Sundays after church, like when I was in high school, that we would go out like after football season in the wintertime, and we would go play like outside of Longview High School. There was just like this big, huge soccer field outside of their Coliseum. And it was just like a free-for-all. Like all these guys in Longview area would just come out and we would play tackle football. And it was like people that you didn't even know. Yeah. And we would just come and we would play. And it was like all kinds of guys, like meatheads.
Wow.
And we played. And if you got hurt, like that's on you.
Yeah.
Like you better have good insurance. Right. Like people lost teeth. Like people got broken bones. Like I think there's probably like 3 or 4 guys I saw had collarbones broken. Yeah. I mean, and I was at least driving. I was like 17 years old, 16, 17 years old. And there was probably about 4 or 5 guys from our church that we would go every Sunday. We would go eat after church. We would go play football, and then we would go back to church after in the evening. And that we were always sore the next day.
Yeah. Well, I knew when I came along in Kaylee's family, at the beginning when they were a little younger, the old guys, we would always play like the old guys because Alan has 4 brothers, Yeah. So it was always them. They would pick up like Kaylee or Ashley or some of the girls, and it'd be against all the cousin or the younger crowd, and those always kind of got heated because we always had a couple of them thinking they were Peyton Manning or something like that, and
reliving the glory days.
And so it's that was a lot of fun. But now they're just too old, and they're like, oh, I'll be so miserable the next day. And so that was always fun. Like you said, I mean, Little League, we were the Vikings and Raiders. I remember the first year that we were Raiders, Coach Pittman. I remember him and Coach Small. I remember Coach Pittman. Since we were the Raiders, like we had the special order like black pants and and so like we were all blacked out, and so every time we walk on the field, the Men in Black song, we would have a big boom box, and he gave us all the cheap $2 shades. And we thought we were it,
There you go.
But no, we were decent, and I think that was a big core of our football team through junior high and even our freshman year in high school. Between them and the Lions, between those two teams, it was always a very competitive game and very close. And because I would say between those two teams was basically your A team in junior high.
It's just a rivalry every year.
And so, I mean, we always, it was us two always in what they called the Toy Bowl, which was the Super Bowl for the, Little League. And
Little Giants.
Yeah. Then we would always have to go to district. If whoever won that game, we would go to district, and we would have to play like Weatherford or Ranbury or somebody like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's kind of what started, my football journey. And I just fell in love with it. Coach Small, Vic Small, rest in peace. But, I mean, he was the one that really kind of moved me to the center position and just kind of, I mean, he lived right up the road from my mom, so his son, like I said, he was part of that crew that just played street ball. And, then we would just, like I said, off season, we were still up there at Coach Small's house working, and it was just, I think that's, I found the love of football through him, and he pushed me to stuff that I didn't even know I could do.
Yeah. Did you have as you were saying, Men in Black and all that, did you have like a favorite football movie that you ever went?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, Little Giants.
That's a classic.
I mean, Remember the Titans. Once I got a little older and kind of could understand it more, that became a big staple. Man, there's just so many. I say so many. There's really not that many. I like Woodlawn too.
Yeah.
I mean,
what is that one where they just redid it with Adam Sandler?
Longest Yard.
Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So
I like the original one.
I've only seen bits and pieces of the original one.
Huh.
I guess that was before my time.
Yeah, they came out with that other one too with the Peyton, the New Orleans coach.
Sean Payton.
Yeah, Sean Payton has played with Kevin James in it. It's kind of with all the scandal about the bounty, like when the New Orleans had the bounty for the hunting.
I remember that, but I guess I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I liked Little Giants and stuff like that too.
That's.
I always think of that like Little Rascals though.
Yeah, that too. But it's just all the misfits. I love that kind of story.
Oh, what was that one with The Rock and Ice? Not Ice.
Game Plan.
The Game Plan, yeah.
Yeah, where he's.
No, not the Game Plan. I'm talking about like with all of the juvenile.
Oh, Iron Gang.
Yeah,
something like that. Where he takes in like the juveniles.
Yeah. Takes all those guys and
makes a pretty dang good football team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, like I said, there's a lot. Looking back, I mean, obviously, do you have a favorite team, college, pro, both?
Well, college, it was one of those things that I like college football and I like pro football, but I'm never the type that gets fanatical about it. So it's hard for me to say I'm a diehard this fan or I'm a diehard that fan. I like to see. I'm an underdog fan.
Right. Yeah.
So I love a good underdog story. And so when I say the team that I like, it's not really a true underdog team. It's just I've always supported them because I've been a fan of them, and it's the Longhorns, Texas.
No.
And I know you either love them or you hate them. It's like people who are Aggie fans. You either love them or you hate them. But my wife is an alumni of Texas, and so I'm kind of lumped in there by marriage.
Yeah.
My dad is a Tech fan, so I like Texas Tech. So,
Yeah.
So,
what about professional?
I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard Cowboy fan, but I like Cowboys. I don't know if I have one true. I like the Ravens.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for me, I'm a Tech fan. My wife is an alumni. I consider myself an alumni, even though I didn't graduate. I took some pharmacy classes through them. But I was a huge Tech fan. I wouldn't say I'm like a fanatic, like I'm going to go, scream and yell and do all that crazy stuff.
Do you have a sticker on your car?
My wife does, yeah, but it's just because she graduated, so it's not like insane. But so I'm a Tech fan, but for professional, I mean, obviously, I'm a hometown. I like the Dallas Cowboys some, but I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And I hate to say that because, it's like bandwagon, but, Pat Mahomes is from Tech.
Yeah.
There's actually two kids that just got drafted that are kind of got some ties around here that went to the Chiefs. And so it's just kind of, there's some what I consider some hometown.
You're a bandwagoner.
Some hometown people on there.
On that
and
wagon.
So I want
that wagon with everybody else.
To support them. So it is
you're
what
not
it is.
the
What
only
it
one.
is.
You're not the only one on
it's
that
not
wagon.
that I'm a bandwagon. It's that
My son's on that wagon with you.
I know, but it's not. I'm telling you, it's because Pat Mahomes was a Tech guy.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna support him either way.
He's on that wagon.
But if you say wagon or whatever. But again, I mean, going back, since we're the Raiders, since I was on the Raiders, back in the day, I was a Raiders fan, but I couldn't tell you who was on it or anything like that. But it's like, I'm a Raider, so I'm gonna support the Raiders.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, I'm not a bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, back up to kind of our when you played football. Did you ever? It's such a physical sport. Did you ever get injured?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like what was like?
I mean, I still have knee problems to this day from being chop blocked so many times.
What? And so I know as a younger player, they always move you around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite position, or what position did you play predominantly, and which one was your favorite?
Oh, center.
Center.
Yeah, was
that your favorite?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to touch the ball every single play.
Every single play, I was involved some way or fashion. It's not like, oh, I'm just going to hit this guy and just be done,
Did you ever do a center sneak?
Yep, I did. I scored 2 touchdowns in Pee Wee doing that.
Yeah.
I scored a ton of 2-point conversions off those center sneaks. That's always fun.
Yeah.
But no, I loved center. I always felt, center is to me is the most underrated player.
Yeah.
There is.
That was a center. That's what I did.
And it's because everything starts with you.
Yeah.
And so if you mess it up, it just goes downhill from there.
Yeah. Did y'all do shotgun snaps, or were y'all?
We did shotgun. We did. I preferred a lot of I know it sounds weird, but
you liked somebody getting up underneath
you a little bit more.
Of course you did.
I mean, I've jammed my quarterback's fingers quite a bit, and
it's like, don't touch me there.
Yeah, but
this is my no square.
But no, center. Like I said, I played guards, tackles, and I just didn't care for that. I loved getting those blind shots on those linebackers.
Oh yeah,
especially when they were trying to read the play, and they're just looking, and all of a sudden you just come up and light them up. I remember one time.
Yeah, crackback.
Yeah, I remember one time. I lit up. I think his name. I couldn't tell you now.
You hit him so hard, but you can't remember his name either.
But I remember Coach Tarver just went berserk because I lit this kid up in practice. He was like, "That's what I'm talking about." And so, but no, but yeah, center for me. Yeah. What about you?
I played center too, and I played linebacker defensively too, inside linebacker. So I
didn't play on the defensive side very much.
But I played center predominantly. I didn't play much defense, but when I played inside linebacker, and I liked it. But I was center, and I'm like you got to touch the ball every single play. You were kind of like the guy who started everything. I'm not I preferred shotgun just because it was a little bit more challenging.
Oh, for sure.
Just to get the ball just to the right way, the right time. And also it kind of allowed us to kind of do a little bit more trickery to where you had your quarterback there, but you could also snap it to your running back directly.
Yeah.
Too. But also I was our deep snapper. And it was so I did our deep snap for extra points and for punting and stuff like that. But we had I think I talked about this before on one of our other. Our punter couldn't extend his arms all the way.
Yeah,
yeah, and so that really screwed me over.
Well, then again, you get blamed no matter what.
Yeah,
because it starts with you. And
So, but yeah. So what? So other than having bad knees, what other injuries did you have?
I broke my collarbone twice. Just getting stepped on, or just getting fell on wrong or something.
Yeah.
I broke it twice, and once in 7th grade and once in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And so that was always a bummer. But then, I've broken all my fingers, just being stepped on or being landed on wrong or something because you're
going because they're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, jamming them in the helmets and stuff, and
poking people's eyes out, getting them in the.
But I broke them all my fingers. And
did you ever grab somebody by the face mask? Did you ever do a face mask rip somebody by the neck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when they just kept on and on and on, and it's like, all right, buddy, next play, it's you.
Did you ever do it and not get caught?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, sinner.
Yeah.
Not me. I was too good of a guy, and I couldn't do that.
I was just like Jason Kelsey, always scooting it up a couple inches.
Yeah.
And getting that,
I did that a couple times.
Oh, I do it every play.
Yeah. No, for me, I remember we were practicing on the first week before our bye week, and it was raining. It was crazy muddy, and I was deep snapping for our extra point, and we had a super excited underclassman scout team guy.
Yeah.
He's scout team hero. Scout team hero on a muddy field, and I had my legs spread to do the deep snap, and he tried to shoot the gap as soon as I snapped the ball. And when he did, the guy standing next to me pushed him as hard as he could when he tried to shoot that gap. And when he did, he landed on my leg, and he made my knee go inside and tore my MCL. And I was out. That was on a Monday, and so we didn't have a game for 2 weeks. And so from then on, I had to go to therapy every single day. And I never had surgery. I just had I played. All I got to do for my senior year was deep snap because we didn't have a single soul who could snap the ball. And that's all I got to do. But then all the other guys on the other team knew because my knee was wrapped, was so much bigger than the other one. I had a knee brace on that had a hinge, and then for some reason my trainer thought, I'm going to put another set of hinges on your knee and then wrap it up. So it was like a big old bullseye on me on kickoff or on punts. Deep snap it back, and then I would hobble off real slow, and then I would get ear hold, trying to get off the field as quickly as I could. And, man, it hurt so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was probably the only injury that I had other than just, simple little, my feet hurt or my knees hurt or
for sure.
Just elbow
I
stuff.
think as a lineman, that just comes with it, your knees and all that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, with all of the new injury or all the new information about injuries, head injuries, let's say that, would you let your son play today?
No, I don't think so. Not even just head injuries. It's just the fact of still, like, sometimes my knees still give me trouble from all that. And really, I mean, my kids are just so dang small. And they must get that from the Barham side of the family. But, I mean, Caden is a freshman, and he's, barely 5 foot. And
but didn't he play football?
No, he's never played football.
But Callan plays football, though.
Some. I mean, he played flag, but he has no desire to play tackle whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so, but now, honestly, it's kind of a blessing to me.
Yeah.
And so,
you hadn't had to destroy their dreams.
Yeah. So, and like I said, I don't care if they play or not. And now my nephew, he plays, and he's absolutely loves it, and he's a beast out there. And and so, but he's been injured too.
Yeah.
Because of it, and had to sit out, I think, a lot last year, in fact. And so it's just, I don't know. To me, sometimes it just isn't worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to watch it, and I love to cheer, especially, like hometown, Middle Wells high school football. I love to go and watch and support, my nephew and all those other kids that we know. But sometimes I'm just like, is it really worth all the pain and, especially those kids that are really good, gifted and talented in something else that I think they're better at, baseball or basketball or something like that. I just hate for them to get injured in football and not be able to really shine at what they're, they're calling, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and I get the idea that, the multiple sports, develops you in other ways that helps you play in other sports and stuff like that. But and it teaches you discipline, and it teaches you those things. And I think they're doing things to help prevent like head injuries and other injuries, and technology and sports medicine development is helping in those things. And those things. I know my son played in junior high. He played quarterback, and he played some defense and some defensive positions as well. And and I would have supported him if he wanted to play.
Yeah.
If he wanted to play, but he chose not to play just because baseball was his passion, and he knew that that's the direction he wanted to play. And he's even had coaches, even this year in his senior year, that have approached him and asked him to come and play football, even though he hadn't played football all of his high school career. They just know that he is a great athlete and would like for him to play. But he's chosen not to, just because he doesn't want to risk hurting himself his senior year and missing any kind of opportunity to play his senior year and be a recruit for baseball, because this is his prime year to be recruited. So, but yeah, I would have some reservations about my son playing, but
Well,
again,
Caden, he's already had a concussion when he was like 3 years old.
yeah,
He fell in the church gym and hit that little ledge going around the bottom and had a
Yeah.
concussion. So that's always been my biggest fear is having one so young. And they said once you have one, it's kind of easier to get them again. And so,
yeah.
I never really pushed the issue or the envelope with Caden. I've pushed it with baseball and basketball and stuff like that, but football, I was like, I'm not even gonna. I don't care if you one way or the other. I mean, if you want to, great, I'll support you, but I'm not gonna say, hey, do you want to play football?
Yeah.
Because I already knew, with him, like I said, having that concussion already.
Well, like with Miami's quarterback Tua, he had he's already had like 3 or 4 concussions,
it's insane.
and it gets easier every time to obtain one, and they just extended his contract like crazy. But it's a lot of, I don't know if it's his lack of defense on his team, or if it's the style that he plays or what. But man, it's just, I would be so leery of giving him a contract for one thing, as massive as they did. But I'd be, as a individual who plays, and I don't know if I'd want to play.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's this season, the NFL has implemented new kickoff rules for the 24-25 season, and it's really the XFL rules that they've been playing by for the longest time. Did you do some research to?
Very little. Like I said, I've just been busy, but very little. I kind of like it in a way because it looks like they're going to war, like old time war. You way back in the day, all right, y'all line up over here, we're line up over here, and we're just going to go at it.
Yeah, they're 5 yards apart.
Yeah. And
it takes away that running full speed.
Yeah.
And takes away the high speed collision part, which takes away from the possibility of the higher possibility.
I will say I did
concussions.
watch one. I remember one kickoff during preseason. I was watching the Chiefs, and their guy still got lit up.
Oh yeah,
I'm just saying. But yes, no, I think. I mean, like you said, that they're not getting full speed contact, and so. But yeah, I think I'm gonna kind of like it. I think there's gonna be more chances of kickoff returns.
Yeah, you can't fair catch it.
Yeah, can't fair catch, and so
you have to return it.
So I think, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting once you get the starters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, and two, it makes you be more creative in the way that you return. So your front line. You can pull guys and have them blocking and basically pull like a pulling guard and create a pocket for your guys to run it back. But there's also incentives too for if you don't kick it into the landing zone, if it doesn't make it to the landing zone, the ball gets placed at the 40-yard line. That's a huge penalty. But also if you kick it and it goes too far and it goes out, it's placed at the 35, which is a big penalty. And so,
what's the onside rule?
You can't do an onside kick until the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And then you have to tell, obviously you have to tell because the way that they line up is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
So, it kind of takes away the element of surprise, which is part of the onside kick process. But, at that point, you still, you got to do it if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you need possession of the ball.
Now, they're not doing that in college, though, right?
No, they're not doing it in college.
I was about to say, because I didn't see any of that.
No. So, I understand why they're doing it, and I think it's going to force – there's going to be more kickoff returns. It's going to be more exciting.
What you got to think, that's probably the most exciting play in a NFL game is a kickoff return or punt return. But, obviously the punt rules are still the same. But as a kickoff, that's probably the most exciting play there is.
Well, think about it. It was probably in the high 80s, if not more, % of kickoffs were either kicked out of the end zone or fair caught.
Well, I've always been like, let's make a kickoff mean something.
Yeah.
Like, if the kicker can kick it through the upright, let's give them a point or something just to give it some kind of meaning. Because, like you said, they're just kicking it out, and it's just, it was dumb.
You might as well just say, take it at the 20-yard line.
Every time. And so...
And then what's next, though? Are they going to start making it to where the extra points are worth 2, 3, 4, depending on where you place the ball? Because the XFL already does that.
Yeah.
If you place the ball, if you take it at the if you start the extra point at the 35-yard line, the 40-yard line, is it worth more points?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what the future holds. But I'm kind of glad they're just slowly doing it and not just doing it all at once.
But do you think that helps? That like that kickoff rule, you think that helps or hurts? You think there'll be people more in favor of it or more people
I think
against
more
it?
people are going to be in favor of it just because of the probability of a kickoff return is a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But then again, like you said earlier, then it takes away the onside,
Yeah.
secret of it, I guess you would say. And so
You're going to have those people that are just against change
oh yeah, for sure.
to begin with.
But I'm kind of excited about it. Like I said, preseason you don't know what football you're really going to get because of they're changing people left and right, and
You're going to have the purest.
yeah. So I'm ready for next weekend to really kind of see once you got those starters in there, those guys that on the main roster, and let's see what really happens. You know what I mean? And
Well, you think about like the special team coaches. How is that going to change their jobs?
oh yeah, I mean, it's not like you said. It's not just like,
Gives
here
their
you
jobs
go.
more value.
Yeah, exactly. A whole lot more value.
Gosh, man, and just I think about like all these old school guys like Terry Bradshaw and all these guys that have that are in like the Hall of Fame, and just think of, man, the game's changed so much. Like this, they're just going to be all these like old fuddy duddies that are like, it's not the game that I used to play.
Yeah.
It's changed so much. Blah blah blah. I mean, it's just you're going to have all these guys who's like that are going to be such purists. It's like it's just not the same game, and it's just.
I mean, that's just
When's it going to be this way in college? Like, at what point are they going to change the rules and make it in college? And then at what point are they going to make it this way in high school?
high school. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, should it be this
effect.
way in high school? I mean, should it be the standard? Because if you look at all the statistics, is it really that much safer? And if it is that much safer, then why aren't we doing it in high school?
Well, I mean, honestly, how long has the XFL been around? I mean, I wouldn't say too terribly long. Huh?
I mean, if you really go back.
I mean, go back, but I mean, were they doing this way back then too?
I don't remember.
So, I mean, I just don't know how much actual study has been done on this. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, I think it could possibly be like a trickle effect, and just slowly, kind of migrate, and let's see what happens. But I don't know. I'm open. Like I said, I'm kind of excited to see. Like I said, college football started this week, and I was pumped. That's about all I did Saturday was just watch.
Yeah, until DirecTV.
What is their problem?
Man, dude, I'm DirecTV.
Y'all suck.
Get with it.
But
Figure it out.
That and ESPN Plus, that drives me crazy.
Yeah, y'all figure it out before next week.
Because ESPN Plus, you're expensive too.
I'm too cheap.
Do you have ESPN Plus?
No, I'm too cheap.
I know, me too. And that's where Tech played, was on ESPN Plus. And they almost gave it away to Abilene Christian. I was pretty disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
anyways,
there's so many football video games.
Oh, dude.
What? Growing up, there was like,
love them.
I don't even know. Atari was kind of like on the back end of my era, and I'm pretty sure there was probably an Atari football game. But you had the Nintendo NES, you had the Sega Genesis, and all that kind of stuff. What would you say was your favorite?
Old school,
or
first?
even you can go old school, middle school, and then new school.
Okay.
Favorite football game?
Well, we
Video game.
Okay, so mine was like Madden 94.
94?
I think it was.
Is that Sega?
Yeah, old Sega. Loved Sega.
Sega.
I remember playing that forever. And it was with when Joe Montana was on the cover.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was one of my all-time faves for a long time. Then when I was in junior high, do you remember the Sega Dreamcast?
Oh, yeah, dude. I had a Sega Dreamcast.
And so I remember I got one. I couldn't tell you. It was like EA Sports or something. I couldn't tell you what year it was.
Sports.
Yeah.
It's in the game.
But I remember getting a Dreamcast. I bought it from a pawn shop.
Yeah.
For like $50. and it come with a stack of games, and it had the EA Sports football, and I was always the Vikings because I was a huge Dante Culpepper fan.
Oh yeah,
that dude could run,
dude.
and so I played.
He was pretty thick too.
Yeah, yeah, and so I always played. I played with the Vikings, and I remember our basketball locker room. We had my freshman year, Coach Brown brought me in, and so I automatically was in the varsity locker room with them because I was the manager and all that. And so they gave me a locker, everything. And our biggest deal was like everybody just brought their old game systems up there. So we had, everything that you can imagine: NES, Super Nintendo, Sega. I brought my Dreamcast. I brought my 64. I was just. And we had them all lined up on the count because we had a counter for some reason. We had a counter in our locker room, and I'm telling you, they were all plugged in together with the old coax cables.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so we had
the button that you push to go to your different ones. Yeah.
And we had an old big old. Somehow we got the maintenance crew to come put a wall mount on for us, and they put our old square deep.
The tube TV in it, yeah.
We had them mount that, and man, and one of us, their parents were throwing an old couch and love seat away, so we brought that up there.
Dude, y'all had like a man cave before man caves.
And we had sound system, everything, and we just, I remember if you didn't have, if you were done in class, hey, can I go to the locker room? And there would be 3 or 4 guys in there. We'd just be in there playing whatever we wanted to.
Dude.
I remember, we, it's on the 64, that... We had some major tournaments in the locker room with that one. Then, to be honest, I haven't played these new video games.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you any kind of new age. But yeah, man, there was some good times on the video games with football.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would say Blitz was mine. In fact, my in-laws still have the original PlayStation, the very first PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so they have Blitz. And so every time we go over to their house, still to this day, my kids pull out Blitz and they play it. And I get out there and I'm playing it with them. And I'm
dropping them, Randy Macho Man.
I'm dropping the leg on them. And that's the only reason I love Blitz I still have the 3 plays that I run.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, and I can get them every time. It's the cross one.
Yep, the cross one.
Where you can throw it back and then throw it across.
Yeah.
And I get them every single time. And they know what I'm doing. It's I just wait for them to get as close as they possibly can and then chunk it downfield.
Yeah.
And then, the thing that makes the game is just after the whistle hits.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you could sit there for hours and just da-da, da-da, da-da.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then they tried to redo it, though. They tried to redo the Blitz and like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then
I
it was
remember
just...
that. It was dumb.
Yeah. And then my son, then it got kind of raunchy with some of the cheerleader stuff in it. And it's I'm like, okay, I can't have this around with my kid because that's when we started having kids. And
well, we still have the 64 at the house, and Caden has Blitz, and me and him still kind of go at it every now and again. But he's all into the new stuff.
Did you ever have the Nintendo Cube?
Yep.
Yeah, I had that in one of my youth group game rooms.
Yeah.
I played Tiger Woods golf on it, but
yeah.
So,
like I said, we would have some massive tournaments.
Yeah. Well, I loved playing it. I played the Sega Genesis, Madden game too, and it was when you look at the graphics of that versus the new ones now, it's almost watching a real live with some of the new ones, and and even the new ones, when they're connected to the internet and to the network stuff, it updates to their stats.
Yeah.
In real time and all that kind of stuff, and it's incredible.
Oh, it is.
The graphics versus the very blockish, pixelated stuff that I grew up playing on the Genesis.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just incredible what it is nowadays, and my son plays it on the PlayStation 5 that we have up at the church and all that kind of stuff. But it's just I can't even keep up with all the buttons. I'm used to 4 buttons at max and the arrow pads and all that, and I'm old and I know it now.
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing that gets me too, is all the different fantasy leagues.
Man, I have no fat clue about fantasy.
And I got friends that do it like crazy. And And all the power to you. I don't know. And I think it's great. It's a great time for people to get together.
Oh yeah, I think it's a great bonding time for sure. But I have, like I said, I have no fat clue how it works.
I don't have time to do it.
I remember growing up. Like I tried to get into it because Sports Illustrated had a website for kids. It was called sikids.com.
Right.
And like you could build your team. Like they would give you a certain amount of money,
Yeah.
and you would go in and you would draft like a QB, running back, all this stuff. And I remember, doing that, but I don't really recall like ever checking back up on it. I would go in there and try to build these amazing teams, but then I just wouldn't check them.
Yeah. Well, I think it's all stat related, and I know it's really good for kids, like mathematically and watching all that and keeping up with it, and it's good in that aspect. I know there's there's a group of youth ministers that do all that kind of stuff, and you can. Some people play for money and all that kind of stuff, and we never played for money in that regards. But it's just good camaraderie, and you play for grins and all that kind of stuff. And I think we have a buddy of ours that their kids do like this big draft night and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they just did that. That's something new this year that Dustin did for those kids, and I thought it was super cool. But like I said,
they dressed up in their jerseys and everything.
Yeah, it was pretty. They had a little shindig.
Yeah, I mean
cookies, brownies, everything.
That's pretty cool.
But like I said, I have no fat clue to where to begin, where to start, what.
Yeah, I mean, and some would say that that's only for the fanatics and stuff like that, and it may be, maybe it is, but I know some people that get into it who aren't necessarily crazy fanatical. They just like it more for the camaraderie and stuff like that. The office people do it, and so they're doing it just to be part of the.
Well, then
I
know it's like some people do it just so they actually kind of pay attention more to the games in general. So
and I can't watch that many games. I don't have time to watch
either.
It. But I guess you could always just.
I put it on a lot of times just for like the back. Like I'll walk by and like watch a play, then I'll continue on what I'm doing. But very seldom do I actually sit down and watch a whole game.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's just an awesome time of the year. I love the fall season to kick off the fall.
I'm too ADHD, I think, to watch one game. I can't sit there and watch. I'm like, like I like that play, and then I'm watching something else. I'll flip through the channel. I want to go watch this. I want to watch this game. I want to watch that game, and I missed something really good. And it's just I like them all. I mean, I want to watch them all. Yeah, but I can't. And I'm too cheap to get like NFL Red Zone.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just watch ESPN Sports and
watch all the highlights.
Watch the highlights.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you on that one.
But we could talk football all day, and we could do several different episodes. But
for sure. I mean, I guess like my all-time favorite is just I love going to the hometown football, high school football games, and just just watching those kids just try to prove their guts and glory. I just love the hometown atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
it's the last, like for senior night, it's the last home football game, the last game of the season, whether it's home or not.
Yeah.
That's the game for me.
Yeah.
When you see those seniors walking off the field, knowing, and it's that sport too, because that's one of those sports that they'll probably never ever play again.
Yep.
For majority of those guys too.
Yeah.
Because they won't suit up. They won't wear those pads again. They probably won't put a helmet on and play at that level again.
Yeah.
At that velocity. And to me that is that's a moment that they'll remember forever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I remember the moment that I did.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk off that field realizing that I'm not going to play college.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play professional. I'm going to play some pickup football probably as an old man, and I'll get hurt and
complain about being sore the next day. But no, I thought last year was super, super cool. Like I said, my nephew, he plays, and one of the Etheridge twins.
Yeah.
I think it's Braden, the one with the mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Braden, he came in and he wore Josh's dad's number.
Yeah.
And I remember when after that last game, home game, it was the last game of the season, he walked out and handed Little that jersey number. And, dude, you talk about a tearjerker. Yeah. All of us just pouring tears. And, that was something super special for Little and super special for Candy to see. And I mean, just to see that, man, it was awesome to see.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's nothing else like it, that hometown.
Yeah.
So,
Other than that, I think I would much rather go see a high school football game than any other.
oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, because a college game, an NFL game, I'd much rather watch it on TV.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, you're not going to get any closer.
No. I've always been the same. Like, I'd rather just watch it at home because I can see up close and see what's going on instead of the nosebleed, because I'm too cheap to pay those prices to get down low.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, man,
that's all I got for this
that's
one.
all
man.
I got too.
So,
I mean, I think it was a good episode though.
yeah.
I
So
like football.
before we go, we always end with a win.
Always, always, always.
So, what do you got, man? What's your win?
What's my win? Man, it's just family. My family. I know I've said that numerous times, but I don't think you could ever really just, you know what I mean, just say it once. And so my family, I love them to death. My kids, my wife especially, you know, I love spending time together. I love even the fighting. I mean, that just makes us stronger. And
You love a good fight. Gives you got to make up.
oh yeah. And so
I know what you're saying.
but you know, it's just like I said, you just can never ever say that's a loss.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I know that sounds cliche and everything, but man, I can't. I think I would be lost without them. I really would. I mean, everything I do is for them. So, yeah.
Well, good deal, man. Well, I know for me, I got to go and see a good buddy of mine that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yep.
And so for me,
That's not me though.
It's not you. You're one of my good buddies. But I got to go see a good friend of mine and meet some friends of his as well. But for me, I haven't got to meet his kids as well, and so got to spend some time with him, his family as well. And man, it's just when you get to see people you haven't seen in a while, it's just so good to spend that time together.
Oh yeah, and catch up.
Yeah, and so it's one of those friends that a lifelong friend that I haven't seen in a long time. So to be able to do that, it's just so good to reminisce.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To kind of relive those glory days back in the day. So for me, that's just awesome. And then to take my family too, and just to share stories back and forth, and for him to tell stories about me, and me to tell stories about him to his family, and him to tell to my family. I mean, it's just fun and good to be able to do that kind of stuff. And it's just, that to me is good, clean, fun, and a win. So, and the only thing that was bad about it is just wasn't long enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's Labor Day weekend, the end of summer. Things are going to start cooling off a little bit.
Thank goodness.
That's a win
for sure.
So
that's all I got, man.
But
Till next time.
Check us out. Email us, thetrophyBrosPodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
We'll check you next time. We're the Trophy Bros.
See y'all.
Thank you for listening to Trophy Bros.
You can reach us through email at trophybrospodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure to also check us out on Facebook.
And if you like our podcast, make sure to like, share, follow, and rate us.
We're the Trophy Bros, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.